What had happened to me and dozens of other women at the network, I would soon learn, had to be exposed. 9 months later, I was terminated. For anyone thinking this is a golf book, it isn't. Yes, there are many references to golf, because that was my job, and it's been a huge part of my life since I was a little girl. But the heart and soul of this book is addressing the real-life struggles women continue to face in the workplace. And that workplace can be in any industry, not just sports, and it must change. The only way I know to stop it is to talk about it as much and as openly as we can. Now, more than 2.5 years into this journey, I understand why women don't take on these battles against big corporations. They're expensive, they drag on forever, and they'll beat you down in a hurry. The character assassinations that Golf Channel NBCUniversal has delivered in its EEOC responses alone would be enough to make anyone question herself and her abilities. I'll admit, I've allowed it to happen from time to time. But then I go back and reread the messages I've received, from former coworkers to complete strangers, supporting this mission and reminding me that not only was I good at my job, but more importantly, I was fully dedicated to it even in the end, when they continued to retaliate against me. This book and this battle is for all the women who didn't have the support or the ability to take on Goliath. I promise to spend the rest of my life helping anyone who needs an ally in this arena as much as possible. It's also for the young girls who will unfortunately face this type of treatment in the workplace one day. I want them to know they're stronger than they realize and are supported by hundreds of thousands of women all around the world. Author's note. Throughout my life, I've stood up to bullies and those in authority who've had this uncanny ability to push people around and get away with it. When I was a freshman in college, I watched a large man hit a little woman as hard as he could in the face with a closed fist. Seconds later, I took matters into my own hands with a 3-iron. I wasn't about to let him get away with what he did to that poor girl back then, just as I refused to turn my back on any type of discrimination or unfair treatment today. As a result, I've been called a troublemaker more times than I can count. Why is it that women who stand up for themselves and others often get this label? Recently, the public has been exposed to a series of sexual harassment cases involving high-profile, powerful men. In an era of unprecedented media sensationalism, the acrimonious downfalls of Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, Matt Lauer, Les Moonves, Charlie Rose, and Andrew Cuomo have dominated the news cycles. While these shocking situations are worthy of close attention and fierce examination, it's important to recognize that most of the discriminatory acts committed against women have nothing to do with sex and are oftentimes just as abusive. From homemakers to high-ranking executives, women are routinely taught that our input isn't welcome, and when we do speak up, there are potential risks involved. This type of social repudiation forces a toxic choice upon us: either learn to keep quiet or kiss our chances of upward mobility goodbye. During my 7 years as an on-air host and reporter for Golf Channel, I made some powerful enemies by being a strong advocate for equality and fairness. These enemies eventually conspired to push me and other women out because we refused to stay silent. As of January 1, 2021, the first day I was no longer under contract with the network, my experiences have been well documented. I've revealed some deep, dark secrets of a misogynistic culture, one where bullies and members of the boys' club got ahead, while those of us who challenged the system got cast aside. Soon after making my story public, upwards of 30 women contacted me privately about their own encounters and mistreatment. Unfortunately, most of these women have been unable to speak out because of non-disclosure agreements they signed after losing their jobs in order to receive a severance package. Others feared that voicing their struggles would blackball them in the industry moving forward. Trust me, I understand. Either way, it's both heartbreaking and infuriating. My hope is that by revealing these truths in Troublemaker,